Okay.
Good work.
Mm-hmm. Like I can stand up.
Okay.
Are you about to like bone me against the wall?
Yeah, you know what the fuck. All right, guys. So I'm here with Mark Dimalanta. I'll give you guys a tour of his office at the end of the video. It looks like an Apple store. He just finished painting it, and that's the first thing you think about is an Apple store. And everything he's got is Apple, so we're gonna call it the Apple store. Mark, so thanks for doing the interview.
Sure.
As you know, I have a website. It's AgentandBrokerTraining.com, and it's specifically geared towards, being a resource for new agents or new brokers, even, older agents or brokers, or, team leaders that are building teams, right? Just if you need some help being a good agent, how-to videos, they're going to be on there. So hopefully that website makes you a better agent than you were, today or yesterday. Okay. So I appreciate it. So
Sure.
I got a bunch of questions here, so I wrote them down, and so I'd like to hear about your journey, your story. What brought you here? What were your circumstances? What made you become an insurance agent?
Well, I was in between jobs about 5 years ago. It was June 2012, and prior to that, I had believe it or not, I had 17 sales experience, 17 different sales gigs, and my mom told me that you needed health insurance because if something happened as far as an accident, you would need to be covered. And so I was in between jobs. I was shopping for health insurance on the internet. I disclosed my phone number out there, and next thing you know, I started getting calls left and right for the next 2 weeks. And 2 different health insurance agents gave me a shot, or I gave them a shot. One talked too little, and then the other one talked a little too much, but I didn't trust either of them. So I wanted to do the research myself. Upon doing the research myself, I came across a job ad, for selling to become a health insurance agent, and I thought I'd give it a shot. And that's how I came to be introduced into the world of health insurance.
Nice. So just to backtrack a little bit, I just thought about it while he was talking. The first day I came into to Healthcare Solutions team, he was sitting in a desk in the corner, and I was just looking over his shoulder, and I asked him, what do I need to be successful just like you? And he's like, you need a headset, you need an external hard drive, and you need this thing called OneNote. And honestly, all 3 things I have now, the OneNote is the best thing in the world, so I definitely took his advice. So let me personally thank you on camera for helping me out.
You're welcome.
But tell me, do you have some sort of template for success? Any daily action plan that you do? Something that's routine for you every day that brought you to this point?
Well, I believe in health before wealth. In this industry, you will make your money, you will make your residuals, but how can you enjoy it without a healthy lifestyle? And so I start out the day, walk my 2 dogs, go out for a jog, eat oatmeal, eat all the good stuff, and then go to the gym, play basketball, lift weights, and then I actually start my day at 1 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock in the afternoon even. So I do all the healthy stuff in the mornings, and this might not be good advice for new people, but this is what I do. And in order for me to be productive, because I figure people are working mostly during the daytime, and they're going to be mostly available after 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and that's when I'm at most prime time, focused, because I did all my healthy stuff in the morning. And then I'll end my day or night until 9 o'clock at night. Plus it kind of makes me look good. People think that I'm still in the office till 9 o'clock at night. I may not be in the office physically, but I am working from home. So I put in from maybe 1 to 9. That's still an 8-hour shift, believe it or not. So, but that's behind closed doors.
So be careful what you say, please, because this is going to be the best interview ever, and everybody's going to take your advice. So if you're telling all the agents to be in at 1 o'clock, they're gonna take your advice.
Okay.
So be careful.
Well, when I first started, I was working Sunday to Sunday, 60 hours a week, believe it or not. I tried to, I didn't have an assistant then. I did a lot of cold calling all throughout the day, and that's how I got my appointments. Nice. And so that's how I built my pipeline, working 60 hours a week.
So today was my daughter's first day of kindergarten. I woke up super early, way earlier than I'm used to. and I got here maybe at 9:30. Why were you here so early?
Well, the reason why I'm here so early is because my SO, aka my significant other, is in the training room over there.
Nice.
And so HST has been known to like recruiting their spouses, and so I'm kind of like doing it a little it myself, and so that's why I'm early.
So what took you so long? You've been 4 years, 5 years in the business now, and you finally got your significant other in the industry. What took you so long?
The reason why is because she's been working in the nursing industry, and she's just about had it. She's worked 50 plus hours a week. She just got like a 70 cents raise from the year prior. She has she can't control her schedule. She wanted to do something that's flexible. She notices that I'm working like a lot less than she is, and I'm making like 3 times as much as she is. And so I told her, if you do this, I can show you, take you under my wing, and I won't let you down.
Take her under your wing and under other stuff too.
Sure. Sure. Wink, wink.
Just kidding. Okay, so tell me, how long did it take to make your first sale?
I would say 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
What product was it? How did it go? Was it somebody you've been working on for quite some time?
So I cold called the first week like 60 hours. I remember I even tabulated it down on like a number spreadsheet.
And that, I believe, because Mark Dimalanta is a spreadsheet king.
So I wanted to figure out, how many pickups, how many conversations, how many appointments, and how many how many of those things will it take to get a sale. And after 5 years of tabulating, I just want to let you know that every 43 times I pick up the phone or I make an attempt to dial somebody, every 43 times I know I'm going to get a new client. So if you knew that every 43 times you were going to pick up the number and you're going to get a client, would you do it? And so that's a question for you to answer. But did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did.
As far as the first two, okay, so that first sale, it was 2 weeks later, but it was because I was making so many calls that first week.
Yeah.
And the name of the product was Assurant at the time.
It was a major medical plan?
Mm-hmm. It was a major medical plan at the time, and yeah.
So when new agents come on board, they decide to change their career. They're usually leaving another job that it's secure cash. Every week or every 2 weeks they're going to get paid, right?
Right.
This is a commission-based job. It's if you don't sell, you don't get paid, basically, right? So how did you survive before making your first sale or before seeing your first paycheck?
Credit card statement. I saw the balance on my credit card statement. I knew I didn't have any benefits, but at the same time, I knew based on my last 17 sales gigs, I knew that I didn't want to work for somebody. I witnessed other people older than me with families and kids getting let go just because they just weren't making, they weren't performing. And I did not want to be in that situation. So that's what motivated me, just the experience being in a room of a couple of people getting fired. And I know they had a lot more, baggage on them than I did. I did this when I was 28, which is 5 years ago. I'm 33 now. And, I just wanted that leverage throughout my 40s and 50s and 60s. I could still do this while I'm 75, working from home in my grandpa chair. And so that's the reason, that's what motivated me.
So we're going to get more into the, internal and external struggles of becoming an agent. I'm just going to keep asking you the typical questions that new agents would ask us. So some of the typical questions are how many phone calls should I be making, and what are the best times to call?
Okay. So at least 200 dials, especially if you don't have any funds for an assistant or telemarketing money or anything like that. Do 200 dials a day. When I mean dials, I mean just make 200 attempts. What I did was I didn't leave voicemails because we're in a day and age where people don't really check their voicemail. They do look at their text messages, and so of those 200 dials, make a text message template. So that you leave something behind. And what was the next part of the question?
I was asking you, I forgot.
What does it say?
It was something I made up.
Oh, something you made up?
No,
So
how many phone calls are you supposed to make, and what time of day do you call?
And what time of day? Okay, so when I first started, again, I was working 60 hours a week. I was calling from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. And I thought those were the legal hours to actually do call people. Mm-hmm. But I was getting a lot of return calls from like maybe 3 to 9 p.m. because that's, again, people work during the day. But there are people that don't work during the day. So I do get callbacks in the mornings and at noon, but not as much as like after rush hour.
I see. So you're making 200 phone calls a day. Every 43, maybe you're getting somebody on the phone and you're talking to them. Mm-hmm. How do you know which products to present that client that is answering the phone that's willing to talk to you?
So I have a qualification sheet that asks a lot of questions about them, about this prospect. I ask them if they're taking any prescription meds. I ask them if they're seeing a doctor every 3 months. I asked them if they had any like hospitalizations, mental illness, the past 5 years or anything like that. And so once I know what their pain is, why they're doing this, why they're in the market, that's when I can like look at the options that's underneath our belt here at HST.
So basically you're just listening, asking the right questions, letting them kind of steer themselves into whatever products we may have or you may have.
Right. So like I do 70% listening on the first call if I get somebody that's interested, and then 30% doing the talking. So when I initially ask them like, what's going on? What's your situation? Why do you need help? I even boldly ask them up front, like, why do you need health insurance? And then they usually say, I guess, I'm trying not to get a tax penalty because, my insurance is too high. I also do a second layer. I ask them like, how do you feel about that? And so I get their response to that. That's what I mean by like do 30% of the talking, do 70% of the listening.
I see. How do you get more clients? How do you get more clients to talk to you?
So I have a colleague that doesn't really ask for referrals, and her name is, can I disclose her name?
Of course.
Her name is Monica Kendall. And
we'll bleep it out, or
you can do that. But I asked my colleague, like, how do you ask for referrals? Just like Carlos is asking me, and she told me that I really don't ask for referrals. And I said to myself, that is very admirable, because she told me that like if you do a sincere job, if you really spend enough quality time with that person, you don't need to ask for it, they'll give it to you. So I took that really resonated with me within, and so for every like client that became my client, I don't ask for referrals, I just get them, because if they give it to me in the future, that's when I know like I did a good job.
I see. So are there any outside lead sources that you would do besides being such an excellent agent? Everybody wants to come to you and be your client.
Right. So what I did was I joined some BNI. What do you call that? Like a marketing group or
a networking group?
A networking group. Yeah. I woke up early in the morning at the time to attend like 6:30 a.m. Breakfast meetings for networking groups. Mm-hmm. I did walk and talks. I posted tabs at laundromats and places with my name and number on it. I went to like networking events as well. I joined Meetup.com. Meetup.com is a
dating site?
No, it's not Meetup. It's not a dating site. It's a professional site. Actually, people can date on that. But if you had similar interests like cycling, dog walking, or you're a vegan person, like you can do Meetup things, and you go over there and you just meet new people. Mm-hmm. So, and then along the lines of your conversation, they'll ask you like, "What do you do?" And you just give them your card.
I see. So here are some of the big boy questions. Okay. What kind of challenges and hurdles and adversities have you had to overcome being an insurance agent?
Money was the biggest adversity, because I didn't have like a consistent paycheck every week. So I needed some type of like emotional support. And I would YouTube like people like Tony Robbins, actually mostly him. And I would listen to his talk. He's not like a motivational coach. He's more of like a life coach. And so I wanted to get under the psyche as to why I am the way I am and how people are the way they are. And so he taught me very importantly that motion creates emotion. And so that's what made me want to like work out in the mornings. When I'm like sweating and I'm like feeling good about my body, feeling about myself emotionally, I feel good. But the days that I don't work out, I don't feel as good. And so motion creates emotion.
So I learned in one of my psychology classes that that's good for the psyche, because physically it releases endorphins in your body, which are like pain suppressors or whatever. It just makes you feel good, So running and exercising in the morning or at any time during the day will automatically feel good physically because of the endorphins being released. So that's what you're doing. That's excellent.
Right.
Let's see. What is your vision in the next 3 years? What do you want this to turn into? You've been doing it for 5 years. In 3 years, what is it going to turn into? What do you see yourself?
I see myself and my SO in the other room over there, or soon to be wife. I see us going on vacation every 3 months, which is what I want. And I want to be able to have that freedom. We're not big on materialistic things. We do love our Apple, yes, but it's just because we're just addicted to it somehow. I don't know why, but we love time together. That's how I see the future. And working from home, working from here, even if we're on vacation, I can see us do appointments. As long as there's an internet connection, we can help somebody, and that's great.
I see. So some people, insurance agents or maybe the outside world, say that we're in the sales business or either in the service business or in the marketing business. What do you think we are? And what kind of business do you think we're in?
I think we are in the advocate business.
So the service business.
Service business.
Okay.
Because your main job as a new agent, you're gonna think you're gonna try to sell as many plans as you can. Your real mentality should be like, just show them their 2 best options. Personally, I joke around with prospects and I say these are your 2 least suckiest options, your 2 least terrible options, because the market isn't as great as it was before. But they're not buying the plan, they're buying trust. And if you are a trusting person, if you really are real with them over the phone and show them the realities of their options, they're gonna buy into you. They're gonna want to know your personal cell phone. They're gonna text you. They're gonna add you on Facebook like they have with me. They're trying to add me on Snapchat or Instagram, which is kind of creepy. I lay it on Facebook, but you just have to be yourself and show them your 2 best options. Treat them as if like they're your cousin who's in between jobs. Treat them as if your great aunt or your uncle that's in between jobs. Just show them their 2 best options, and they will call you back to move forward.
Okay. So, as you know, there's a lot of insurance agents like myself. Average insurance agents, right? There's not many like you.
You're not average. I don't think you're average in my book.
So, tell me, has there been somebody out there who you've seen have been doing big things, and have you reached out to them for advice? And if so, how did you reach out to them? And maybe what is one of the best pieces of advice that they could have given you?
So I was here one late night. It was maybe my first month into it. And Joe Eichmann, one of the founders of this agency, saw me. He was making copies. And I just actually approached him, initiated a conversation. I asked him, what 2 big advice tips can you give me? And he just said, just be knowledgeable and likable. And that's it. Just keep it simple like that. And so you don't need to know everything. When you're in training, you're going to want to be a perfectionist, which is what I was. I'm a perfectionist. I wanted to know everything, every single bit and piece of the product benefits. But again, the prospects, your future clients, they're not gonna care what's on a piece of paper or brochure. They're gonna care about you. They're the vibe that they get from you. That's what they care about the most. And so just be likable, be knowledgeable. Because prospects, people in general, they're not gonna care, what you said, how you said, where you said it, when you said it. They just care about how you made them feel. And if you give them that lasting impression that you made them feel like, okay, this dude cares about me, he really showed me all my options, that they remember, because we're emotional beings, and so not as much logical.
Let's see. Are there any landmines, any big, huge mistakes that you would tell agents to avoid?
Surround yourself with successful people. I know I made a point to always surround myself with more successful people than I am, but there are people that talk too much, that congregate too much, or look at statements too much. Try to avoid that, and have a good emotional support. Have them on speed dial, whoever your top 3 go-to agents, more senior agents are. And so I did fall in a trap before, but I picked myself up by facing the right direction, as opposed to being surrounded by mediocre people.
I see. I'm thanks for letting me be your friend. So let me just give them a tour of the Apple office. This is Mark's new office. It used to be, I think, red and green and blue. I'm not sure what kind of colors it was, but now it's all white, and now he's got everything Apple here. So you see everything MacBook Pro, MacBook. He's got a stand that's probably Apple. He's got a water cooler. So I think it's amazing, and I'm kind of jealous. I wish I thought about this. But Mark, any last piece of advice coming from you personally, in your own words, besides Tony Robbins or any other agents that might have, told you this way? What good piece of advice? One long-lasting thing.
Again, people that you talk to, like clients or prospects, they don't care what you said. They don't care when you said it, where you said it, how you said it. They just care about how you made them feel. So if you made them feel secure, they're going to be with you till the end.
I love you, man.
Mic drop.
I do. What was I going to say? So, where can people find you? Where can people, maybe if they wanted to get into contact with you, where can people see you?
I'm not a big fan of LinkedIn. I never was. I was a big fan of Facebook because it was more personalized. But nowadays, Facebook became a LinkedIn type of thing. And so you can reach me on Facebook. I don't really post that much personal stuff. So I'm more comfortable, like you guys reaching out to me via Facebook. And then if, reach me, just send me a text message. And then if I get to know you a little bit better, then, we might go on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, but Facebook is a good way.
You better be more successful than he is, or else he's going to ignore you, okay?
Block.
All right, Mark. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm honored to be his guest.